nijumuishe chama ya ODM katika serikali ya Kenya. And I am very proud that today ODM is part and parcel of the government of the Republic of Kenya. Wakati baba nilizungumza na yeye, hakunipatia masharti yoyote vile ya kujumuisha ODM kwa serikali. Mimi ndio nilimuuliza, baba, mimi nataka waziri wa fedha wa kwanza wa kutoka Nyanza, mimi na wewe tupatie nafasi hiyo. Baba akanipatia huyu mungwana anaitwa Nyang, huyu John.
My last word. My last word. My last word. As a community, Your Excellency, and I want to tell you this, don't be shaken. As a community, there is something we believe in, that a leader, before he dies, a leader knows his death, but he doesn't talk about his death. He will show his people, before he dies, what he wants to be done. He will show his people where to take everything that he has. Raila showed us. Raila showed us before he died that he wanted us to be in government. As a community, as a party, we will be in broad-based government. We will support broad-based government. We will work with you.
And sometimes I'm taken aback by some people who enjoy the rights Raila has fought for, including political parties. There are those who now lead political parties and abuse Raila Odinga without knowing that without Raila Odinga, you would not be leading those parties that you're leading today. They don't know.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that Raila's greatest pride in the Kenyan politics was his own ODM party. And Raila took a lot of pride in ODM party mostly because it had lasted for 2 decades with its main objective and agenda being fighting for the rights of the normal mwananchi. And interfering with the affairs of ODM party currently would mean the greatest dent on Raila's legacy, or it would mean you are actually stepping and dirtifying Raila's legacy. On the day of the burial of the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga, President William Ruto publicly confessed that he would maintain Raila's legacy by making sure that the ODM party does not die a quick death after the passing of Right Honorable Raila Odinga EGH. But the question that most of the Kenyans and the ODM party members asked themselves is how will Ruto succeed in this, yet he has been unable to maintain his own dying party, the ruling party, United Democratic Alliance, UDA. First and foremost, allow me to take you back to about a month ago before the death of Raila Odinga. About a month ago, Raila Odinga and the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru KENYATTA, held a secret meeting in Dubai. According to the intel we have gathered so far, Uhuru called Raila to that meeting before he returned to Kenya for the Jubilee Party National Delegates Convention that was held on September 26th in Nairobi. Uhuru did this after learning that Raila was giving in to the pressures from President William Ruto and his own ODM broad-based cabinet secretaries who wanted Raila Odinga to merge ODM party with the UDA party. The merging was expected to take place few days after this meeting took place. Among the demands given to Raila Odinga for the merger by William Ruto. It was meant to expel rebel ODM leaders like the ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and some MPs, for example, Babu Owino. And Ruto was ready to let off UDA party to be absorbed into ODM so that he would be an ODM presidential candidate in the 2027 general election. Uhuru realizing Ruto's endgame, that is why he had to call Raila Odinga to that meeting. And it is believed, according to the intel we have, that after a 2-hour meeting between Raila and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in Dubai, Raila was convinced and he called off the merger between UDA and ODM. After this, Raila fell ill and he never made it back to the country to actualize what he and Uhuru had agreed on, which, according to the intel we have, or to the speculations, by the way, made by one blogger, Maverick Aoko, on X page, we are told that Uhuru had convinced Raila Odinga to keep on currently working with William Ruto until when the time was right, where Raila, was to exit the broad-based government and join Uhuru's team in endorsing Kalonzo Musyoka and Fred Matiang'i's ticket for the 2027 elections, where ODM and Jubilee Party, together with the Wiper Party and the other parties currently in the united opposition, are meant to form, were meant to form a coalition umbrella that will be vying against William Ruto in 2027. But something happened. Ruto learned about Uhuru's meeting with Raila in Dubai through his NIS sources. This is mostly after Raila called off the merger even before his death. And that is why, after Raila's death, Ruto mobilized all ODM cabinet secretaries currently working with him. That is John Badi, Opiyo Wandayi, Wycliffe Oparanya, Joho, and the ODM party leadership led by Gladys Wanga, Simba Arati, and others to spearhead the conversation and a campaign that Raila Odinga left his people and the ODM party in William Ruto's hands and in William Ruto's government. You all have seen this speculation go viral that William Ruto left us in government. That Raila Odinga left us in government. That Raila Odinga left us with William Ruto and we are not going to leave William Ruto. That is a campaign that has been spearheaded by most of ODM leaders that have been singing the present worship song even when Raila Odinga was alive. Now, the first step Ruto took to ensure that he has full control of ODM party after learning of Raila's death was to ensure that the ODM party installs OBURU Odinga as the party interim leader, as the interim party leader, which was against Raila's wish, where we are told Raila had wished and had ensured that in case of anything happens to him, the people that should have taken over the party leadership were supposed to be senior counsel and the SIAYA governor, James ORENGO, who was a close ally to Raila Odinga. He was to take up his role as the party leader if Raila Odinga dies. Or if ORENGO wasn't in the picture or in a position to take over the party leadership, then the next in line was to be, who was to be the party leader, was the Kisumu governor, NYONG'O, who was to lead the party if anything happened to Raila Odinga and James Orengo is out of the picture. But Ruto, knowing this, Ruto understanding that these two leaders, that Raila Odinga, had made sure that if anything happens to him, will take up the party leadership roles in the ODM party. These two were against the broad-based government ideology from the word go. That is Senior Counsel James Orengo and Professor NYONG'O. Remember, even when even during the signing of the broad-based agreement between William Ruto and Raila Odinga, Senior Counsel James Orengo and Professor NYONG'O were never in the picture and they never attended that signing. They remained to be defiant of this decision that Raila Odinga had taken. But Raila Odinga, knowing them and having worked with them for so many years, he convinced them. And at the end of the day, they fell into the picture in supporting the broad-based government. But reading from Raila Odinga's steps and reading the room, you all saw the speech that was given by Senior Counsel Agre Bob James Orengo during the burial of Raila Odinga, where he said that Raila Odinga stood for what is right, stood for what is supposed to be what Kenyans wanted. And that is why James Orengo said that those that are crying over party leadership, those that are singing over party leadership, and they disregard or taint the name of Raila Odinga, they don't know that Raila Odinga is the reason why they have parties that they are leading. Because Raila Odinga fought for multipartyism with the whole of his heart. He was jailed so many times for it. That is what James Orengo said. Now, William Ruto, knowing that James Orengo and Professor NYONG'O would have never subscribed to his ideologies, more so they would have led the ODM party out of the broad-based government. That is why he suggested and pushed and more so mobilized cabinet secretaries from ODM party and leadership of ODM party that were benefiting from his government to install and vote in OBURU Odinga as the party leader. Are we together until there? But you might ask, why did Ruto want OBURU Odinga as the ODM party leader? This is because OBURU Odinga is one of the greatest beneficiaries of the broad-based government. For currently, his own son, Jaoko OBURU Odinga, is currently serving as Ruto's personal advisor. So, OBURU Odinga, at the end of the day, he could never let the advantages, all the goodies that came with the broad-based government slip off his hands. But people like James Orengo, it doesn't matter how much William Ruto was to give them, they would have defected at the end of the day. And I want you to listen, by the way, to the statement given by James Orengo during the burial of Raila Odinga, so that you will understand what I'm saying. Now, putting that aside, there is something that also William Ruto made sure to happen during Raila Odinga's burial. That the legacy of Raila Odinga was reduced to the one here that William Ruto and Raila Odinga worked together under the broad-based government. Truth be told, that is just a leaf in Raila Odinga's history or a leaf in Raila Odinga's legacy. Everything good that Raila Odinga had done for this republic was put aside for William Ruto's ideology to take the center of the day. And I don't miss my words by saying that William Ruto made Raila Odinga's trusted loyalists to dance on the grave of Raila Odinga and on the legacy of Raila Odinga during the burial of Raila Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, now there is no survival of ODM party. One thing for sure, ODM party is going to be absorbed and be merged with the UDA party, which is something that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was against. And that is why he called Raila Odinga into that meeting in Dubai. And the reason why you saw even Uhuru cry is because he knew that he and Raila Odinga had held a meeting prior to his death, and they had discussed a lot of things that were supposed to be put into place and that were supposed to actually wash the legacy of Raila Odinga again from the tainted paths that he had currently worked with William Ruto. Are we together? That is what actually happened. And another thing, currently, there is no future for ODM party. Why am I saying this? William Ruto is the master politician. He is a genius at what he does. Everything and every move Ruto takes, he always has an end game. And that is why during the burial of Raila Odinga, you saw William Ruto give so much credit to John Mbadi, crediting John Mbadi for stabilizing the economy since he brought him into the government. Ask yourself the reason why. It's because William Ruto has already made up his mind that John Mbadi will be his running mate in the 2027 general election. Are we together? And you saw among all the cabinet secretaries and the leadership of ODM, the person that sang the song of Raila left us into the government most during Raila's burial was John Mbadi. I tell you, ODM will die in this manner. Remember, Musalia Mudavadi's party, Amani National Congress. It was a party that had its values, it had a structure in place. It had members of parliament appointed in government. Elected in government. But William Ruto convinced Musalia Mudavadi to merge ANC party with UDA. And ANC party died an instant death. That is what he is going to do with ODM right now. It's just a matter of wait and see. In less than 2 months, ODM party will be no more. The people that speak for the people, the leaders that speak for the people within ODM party, like Akina Edwin Sifuna, they will be thrown out of the picture. And William Ruto will take over the party leadership. Because you know what? He has OBURU Odinga there. And OBURU Odinga is not going to be removed. But one thing also will happen. Leaders like James ORENGO are going to walk out of this party. Leaders like Akina NYONG'O, they're going to walk out of this party. And the party will lose its value, its meaning completely. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment in the comment section what you think about this analysis. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.